Alright guys, I figure I'll do a segment on 5090. In this particular case, it's a a little PC part picker build for the 5090, and see how much we could build a PC for the cost of a 5090. And I'm actually thinking about not getting one, but to be honest, for most people that you shouldn't be getting one anyways. But going from there, let's start the build. So one of the things I always go to is Tom's Hardware. It's just to find what is your actual sort of need in terms of like performance wise, especially this GPU hierarchy. And I really like this chart just because you could buy of a selection of used new hardware out there. So for now, I think we should budget ourselves about $1,000 for a GPU. So in reality, you could probably grab a 4080 Super for that price right now, and you could probably grab a 5080 if you're lucky that you could buy one, MSRP. But currently, let's see, what do we have for $1,000? What do we have around $1,000? We got the 4080 Ti Super, or sorry, 4070 Ti Super. We got the 7900 XTX. I really like the 4080 for the price. Really, you really have one choice at the moment. What about the 4070 Ti Super? For $849, I think that's pretty good. That is very good for the price. I think, you know what? I think unless you can grab a 5080, I don't think 5080 is available. 40 Super, 4,000. Let's put that in there. I don't think you could actually build a balanced PC with this price. Maybe $100 less, but you could definitely build a pretty nice rig using these two. I'm actually a little bit a fan of the slim version of the MSI, and I really dig the Pro Art. And to be honest, with just a $5 difference, I think I'm gonna grab the Pro Art. I really like the Pro Art. Plus, not only that, if you're like a creator, you could get a 3 months Adobe Premiere subscription with it. So really, I think this is a no-brainer card for most people. Where do we go from here? I guess we're supposed to pair it with a CPU that's semi-decent, and I think for this particular build, I wouldn't necessarily recommend to get the 9800 X3D. And plus, yeah, we're in the United States, so this is actually very pricey for this, for that. And 7800 X3D, not really that good of a value either. I have this CPU. I think if you're a creator, maybe think about this, but this is also expensive. I think they're just, people are scalping these, I guess. Really, these are from retailer price. I just don't know why it is so expensive. So it's kind of hard to build one. So what's my rule of thumb? So if I spend $1,000 on a GPU, my rule of thumb is about 70% of that price, or close to 60% of that price should go towards the CPU. So I'm spending what, $800, $850. So I really should be thinking about something under, let's say 500. So what can we get under 500? We're gonna filter down the core. I don't want anybody to pick up a 6-core processor. Really, that's just dumb, very dumb. Especially for, if you're spending so much money on a graphics card already. Kind of want to like PC Part Picker to kind of give you an option of like, don't show this, and filter out like a whole bunch of things you don't want, like older gen stuff. But you could, if you know the chipset, you remember all the chipset, you could filter it here. But this is kind of annoying because you still wanted to filter out some of these processors. 7950X, really, I think that's still quite a bit pricey. 3900K, I think that's pricey. 14900K, that's good, kind of, ish. 12, it's very hard to pick one out. I mean, Ultra 7, it's not a bad price. I call this the new i7, I suppose. 20 core. Yeah, people get flack of like, oh yeah, this particular CPU is not a gaming CPU. It's very bad for gaming, but like, right now it's priced around the 14700K. And really, do you want a newer generation chipset or do you want a older generation chipset? Like, these two are very similar priced, super similar priced. Can we go down lower on price? I think in terms of value, the AMD stuff is just not popping out, especially for people want to have sort of a multi-purpose workstation. I mean, we could probably, it's so hard to select CPUs now. There's so many good choices. I wouldn't say wrong choice, but good choice for different type of usage. So I know the newer generation of Intel CPU and their motherboard is going to be a little bit pricier. It does offer some good feature sets. I think maybe I should set up a lower limit too, just so I'm not looking at a lot of older or weaker CPUs out there. I'm actually debating whether or not to get that one or that one. See, this particular Ultra 7 doesn't come with integrated graphics. I'm not a fan of that. I really don't like it. And depends on availability. I think maybe you should be try it out, the new Intel Ultra. I want to give it a try. I want to build a new Intel chip. I've been always recommending these guys, but like they're so close priced nowadays. I think maybe give that a try. Give the new Intel processor a try. And I don't see anything. Yeah, and everything else seems to be a little bit more pricey. I guess the 14900K is still pretty good gaming processor, but I think we're gonna give this guy a chance. I'm gonna give the Intel CPU a chance. Because I actually never built one on paper anyways. So, hey, let's do this for the first time. It's first time for everything. So this is like i7 equivalent, processor. Goes about, 359. We have another $800 to play with. Motherboard. Do you want to build a ITX, ATX, or ITX? You do want to go Z890 because we're still building a pretty premium build. Obviously, the B860 is not bad either. Maybe I'll include both and just to see what they have. I'm not too familiar with the newer Intel chipsets out there and what it can offers. I don't know the PCI lengths on top of my head for these guys either. I think maybe Wi-Fi 7 would be one of the must for a lot of people. And to be honest, Wi-Fi 7 is really not that useful in terms like for most people. Because once you go over, let's say about 3 meters, 10 foot, 15 foot, that Wi-Fi 7 is not gonna give you good connectivity. So it's gonna drop down to Wi-Fi 6 anyways, or Wi-Fi 6E. And I really like some of these boards. The tough boards are okay. I think at this point in time, you should think about what color you should be building on for your PC. And you want a white build, you want a black build, like what do you want? Like what's your goal, right? I think typically when you go for all white, it's going to be a little bit more pricey. So for me, I want to stay out from the white. And actually, because I have a Pro Art board, I want something maybe Asus, maybe all blacked out and just kind of give it a nice look to it. So this is for $200. That's not that bad. That's for $200 or less than $200. That's not that bad either. Do we have anything a little bit more premium? How much did we spend on our CPU? What, 300? How much did we spend on our 359? So really, we should be aiming about $200. $200. See, a lot of these times, like the Z890M Plus, like this is like a cheaper, quote unquote, cheaper board. But it does offer a little bit more connectivity. And that's the ITX board. This is actually a pretty good deal on an ITX. If you really think about ITX. But I want it blacked out. I want a nice blacked out. Okay. What we're gonna do right now, we're gonna actually see a case. Nice blacked out case. We're gonna go, I think we're gonna go for a ITX or micro ATX build. I think that's more how I say, more space friendly, I suppose. I do like this one. I do have this case, very nice case, but this is cheaper. You want that wood panel. I think these two, like the Lian Li A3, it's probably a good choice for most people. Prime is not bad either, but I have built in this case. I prefer the Lian Li more than the Prime, just because how it looks and how the panels are kind of designed with all the mesh. Let's go sort by price. See what we got for price wise. Is there not a fan of these tower looking RTX builds. I think picking out a case is gonna be quite hard. There's so many choices, so many good choices too. You know what? I think I'm gonna spend a little bit more premium. Johnspo D32 Pro. This is not a bad case either. It does have a glass panel, and really is sometimes really up for you guys. Like these are just kind of placeholder for you guys, and you could choose whatever you think looks the best and for your build. Sometimes there's no real right or wrong choices other than the fact that be careful on some these cases and their airflow. But I think I really want to just recommend the A3 M-ATX. This is a fairly good size, about 27 liters, 26 liters, and it's still quite big compared to like one of these, Q58, but you could fit an ATX power supply in it. That's gonna save you a little bit of money, and you're gonna have a little bit more space to work, and then you can add some add-in cards. I think M-ATX is probably my go-to build in this case. Yeah, I really like that M-ATX. I think it's, well, that price is a little bit pricey, but I think it's worth the extra little bit of wood and everything on top, and plus the wood panel for this one offers better airflow. So really, this is the better case compared to the non-wood trim version of it. So in this case, we're gonna go back to the motherboards. See, that's not like the Z80. Like these guys are not very, like they're very good choices. Wi-Fi E, Wi-Fi 7. What do we have for that? Let's go for price. That's a very basic board. And sometimes you have to click into like the manufacturer site. So, and some basic boards are just still pretty nice looking, like this guy over here. But I think I might go Asus in this build just because I already picked out a ProArt GPU, and I just want to have one software to control all the RGB and all that stuff. So I think maybe just the tough. Do they have a CA90 tough? No, they don't. They have the prime, they don't have the tough. Really, I don't think it matters. I don't think the chipset matters in our build. Unless you have a particular niche, I think this board will do. What does this board have? Wi-Fi 7? I think it does have Wi-Fi 7. Yeah, Wi-Fi 7. That's pretty good. I'm gonna go for all air cool. Oh no, this case offers AL support, so I mean we're gonna go grab a cheapo 360 AIO for this build. There we go, a Thermalright. And I don't like the RGB, so I'm gonna get one with a better fan. This is the one with a better fan. And ID cooling, sure. Never actually tested this guy, but honestly, they're all pretty good choices. I'm just gonna save that extra $2 and get the thermal ring. The ID cooling is not bad either, to be honest. Power supply. Let's see what we got for power supply. I'm jumping around a little bit just to kind of find out what's best out there. You want to go 1000 or 850? Obviously, if you're thinking about upgrading your PC and just, you know, like future-proof your build a little bit, I think go for a little bit more wattage. It's gonna be a no-brainer, I think. We want to go for full modular. Me personally, I always go for the Seasonic power supplies, and also for all of these RTX builds, you don't want the extra long power supply. So they have a choice of length. Yeah, they do. Let's shorten this a little bit. Let's see what a typical size would be like. What's the length on this? 140? Okay, let's go for 160. That should trim down a lot of. And we want an ATX. Do we? Yeah, we do also want the 12-pin high power by default. And what we got for choices here. Never heard of this brand. I'm kind of scared to purchase that. I think over buying a power supply, it's always a good option when you do build. Seasonic, man, it gets pricey out there, eh? Let's go for gold. Let's see what choice we got. Be quiet. 1000 watts. Superflower, I think they're pretty good brand. I know in Asia they will buy Superflower more than all the other brands. I think Superflower tends to be like the budget best budget brand out there, like well built budget. But what do you want? RM 1000E. Sure, Corsair power supplies. I don't know anything about the ASRock Legend power supply. Let's filter by brand. Tough. I think the tough one may be a rebrand of Seasonic. I'm not sure. But this is white, so we want black. I'm really tempted to put this Superflower power supply in there. Just because, you know what, let's move up the wattage a little bit more to see if there are any more choices. Let's go under 22. Man, within the the $20 range, you got so many choices, so many. Like ASRock, Corsair, Thermaltake, Be Quiet, Antec, MSI. See, I don't know the quality of these MSI power supplies. I do have a dead one, but it's just something I bought. It's not something I bought it brand new and died on me, so I really can't tell what the previous owner did to it. So I think this would be the safer bet for most people to get, because it's a very popular power supply. If I knew anything bad about this, I would have heard it all over the internet. So let's go for that. And memory and storage, we're gonna go for a premium build, I suppose. let's go for storage first. Let's see what sort of memory budget we're gonna have. Do we want to go for Gen 4 or Gen 5? Gen 4, no, Gen 4, Gen 5. What is the cheapest Gen 5 we could get? Are we even gonna get Gen 5? No, let's say 2 terabyte. What do we have for cheap 2 terabyte? PN1? T-Force. These are for 195. Never heard of these. These ones have no heatsink, but I'm pretty sure the motherboard, I think this is the motherboard we bought, has pretty good heatsink. No, it's a skinny heatsink, so they cheaped out on the heatsink. So I'm a little bit hesitant getting get a Gen 5 without a heatsink. Just because I know for a fact that one is not going to be adequate. So $200 is what we're looking at for a Gen 5. I think this crosshair one is going to be pretty nice, and this is overkill. Let's see what we have for Gen 4. If we can save $1 or $2 using Gen 4. Yeah, it's half the price, but then these are all like super budget. Super budget. MEME. What do we get? 174. We're getting to a premium territory over here. 980 Pro. Can we get a Western? The P5 with heatsink is pretty good. Western Digital is pretty good. Kind of hard to pick out a good, I wouldn't say good, but I mean just a budget friendly SSD sometimes, is because sometimes they go on sale. I think this would be the best bet. And then we have what, $130 for RAM. Let's see, 100 to 150. Where I want what, 2 times 32. Yeah, it'll fit. What sort of first word latency we want to get? Latency, we want to go down to at least to a 10 nanosecond. Cast latency maybe be 32 or less. What do we have for choices here? Silicon Power, Patriot, Silicon Power, Patriot. Let's move the cast latency a little bit. Nope. Price. We got some G-Skill. We're building Intel, so I'm not too concerned on Expo. Or yeah, not too concerned. We just want something fast with the price in mind. Speed. Let's go for cast latency 32 again. What sort of speed does it give us? What's the fastest speed we could get out of this? 64? Oh, I'm already staring at one. That's that. I think it's either this one or that one. I think the Silicon Power and Patriot, I think they're both pretty good in terms of budget wise. This one gives you a little bit more speed, slower cast. This one gets less speed but lower cast. I think, to be honest, unless you buy both DIMMs and start testing it, you're not gonna tell much of a difference. I think I would want just black because I want a black coat build. And there we go. And I think you could just attach your 4K monitor. Ooh, OLED. Look at that price. Anyways, I'm not here to shop for a monitor, but I'm just building a PC. One good PC to match the price of the 5090. And yeah, I think this is a pretty good build. And you're gonna get what, close to half the performance of a 5090 with a 4070 Ti Super, and you're still gonna be pretty happy. Yeah, so we're gonna end this video, and hope you guys enjoy what I talk about. And I don't wish anybody to overspend on any sort of money on PC component, especially offer the same sort of performance. I just want everybody to gain better value off their money. And if you like my video, give it a thumbs up, comment below, and if you really like it, subscribe for my channel for my next video. I'll see you next time.